Well, welcome back to the Ropes Family Podcast. It has been a while.
A long time.
It's been a while. I was thinking about recording this podcast earlier this morning. I said, we haven't done this in a long time. Are we gonna go back to our not knowing anything about podcasting
Awkwardness.
form, or are we gonna just pick right up where we left off?
I think we'll be fine.
We're in a different space right now because if you are unaware, the sanctuary is being renovated, I guess, like a half renovation. New carpet, chairs, stage is different. So that has created a mess to where we normally record our podcast, which is in the dungeon behind the sanctuary. If you're unaware, there's a couple rooms back there. That's where we've been recording it. It's back there in the dungeon. It's hard to breathe back there. But right now we are in the we don't even have a name for this room, the conference room. It's the room with all the chairs in it right now that has all the unfinished chairs. But speaking of all this stuff, this is kind of what we're going to be talking about. Is just kind of summer updates.
Yeah.
So, Courtney, you have been the busiest so far this summer. My busyness is about to pick up, but I think
you're about to have a crazy week.
Yeah. So your busyness has been started already. So do you want to give us an update on VBS? Like our last couple episodes, we talked about the prep for VBS. So maybe we can talk about the execution and how all that went.
VBS success.
Yeah.
VBS was amazing this year. I had 35 volunteers.
Wow.
And they were all just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, these people were, leaving their jobs early to get here. Dealing with kids who had never, been in a church setting.
Yeah.
So we were having, some, not issues, but, a few little things. The volunteers were amazing.
Yeah.
And they were tuned in. They were telling kids about Jesus. It was, VBS this year was probably my favorite year. And I've done it 4 times now.
Yeah. I feel like this year, like everybody was bought into everything, which was really good. And that's a sign of your leadership, is getting people bought into the vision, I guess, of the VBS. But I think you led it well, and it showed that, and we were prepped, and even when things didn't go well, like the pizzas didn't get there one day.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
it was not our delivery. Well. It was Sam's.
It was Sam's. Sam's messed it up. Sam's Club.
Yeah, then.
They messed it up. But like even you were able to roll with the punches and go with the flow and change things up, and it worked out perfectly. Nobody missed it, really.
No.
We got to have pizza later, which was good.
It went really well.
Yeah.
I think this year the theme was fun too. And that's what I heard from a lot of the adults was like the theme was fun, but it wasn't over the top. It wasn't too insane. It was a focused theme, is what my mom called it. I was like, oh, a focused theme.
Yeah, it was kind of honed in on a few things. It wasn't so over the top is right. Like even the decorations were good and subtle, and they
chill.
It wasn't like we had to overdo it to keep
like
up.
Scuba.
Like scuba. Yeah.
Goodness.
Like last year we had it looked good. Everything went well last year too, but it was just a lot more work, I think. And but this year went really well, and it looked really good.
Well, we had 97 kids night 1.
Wow.
And then 87 night 2, which always happens. And then 95 night 3.
Nice.
And we had 4 new kids on night 3 that had not been the other 2 nights.
Wow.
So that was pretty exciting. And then we raised $655 for Southeast Asia.
That's really cool. That was really cool. I think the incentive you gave them was kind of good for that.
Yeah, did you have color powder
in
your nose and your ears?
I think Kim said, don't get it in their ears.
Yeah.
And they went out there, all of their hands can just reach my ears.
Yeah.
So I was digging blue powder out of my ears for a while.
Yes.
I was like, this is a little concerning. I don't need to go to the doctor, because I bet if I go to the doctor, if I get an ear infection or something, they're going to be like, what is in your ear? And I'm going to have to say,
cornstarch.
Yeah, cornstarch. Dyed cornstarch here. Yeah. But on that note, when we did the
powder
thing, afterward, I was looking at the pictures and stuff, and I said, summer ministry there's nothing like it. It's so much fun. It's so different. There's no other time in ministry really where well, for me, in my experience, that you're gonna get to go have a bunch of kids throw.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like summer ministry, and it's just ramping up for me because camp is this coming week. But there's nothing like it that you get to keep the hype and the fun, and there's nothing like summer ministry.
I agree with that. I think that with VBS, it was, I don't know if I was just more like around the kids at VBS this year, but I felt like I was able to build more relationships.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I've just been like, hey, let's take a picture. I got to run the next thing. And I felt like this year I got to know some kids. And
I think that's another thing with like preparation and comfort level. It takes a while to get into the rhythm of doing this ministry kind of stuff, and so you've been doing this for 4 years, right? And so the more you get to do it, the more comfortable you are with the routine of it, everything. You're setting it up, and so you get to have your prep work gets to let you actually participate in the ministry instead of just
calm
running.
down.
Yeah, instead of running around, making sure everything's running good.
It's true.
So I think you prepped well. That was good.
Thank you. Well, we finished VBS. Went to girls' camp.
Yeah.
And we took 13 girls. We had 4. We had 5 of the younger girls, and then we had 8.
Good math.
Yeah, I had to add there. Of the older girls, and it went so well.
Yeah.
We had 6 sponsors, and so it was divided up really well.
Yeah.
But then Allison and I went and did missions, so it took us out of the equation.
So you guys got to like run a session?
Yeah, we did like a class, a session, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, cool.
A rotation.
Okay.
And we talked about Southeast Asia.
Cool.
And
so what were some of the things you kind of talked about? Or
we went over everything.
Yeah.
From the country we were in, everything about it. We talked about doing VBS at all the different places, the people, the beliefs of the people, the orphanage that we visited.
Yeah.
We talked about everything. Food.
Yeah.
Food was a huge hit. The kids.
Allison said you had like a game or two with some chopsticks. How did that go?
Yeah, we actually ended up not playing the game because we didn't have enough time.
Well, good.
But we gave them chopsticks to take with them, and they loved that. But we did make the little Asian hats, the little cone hats that they wear when they're like in the rice patties and stuff. We made those out of paper plates. That went really well. And then one group made fans.
Oh, yeah.
So we did a lot in there.
That was good. And I think that, Carla went as well. And I think that she sent a text to our group that said it was a really good thing that you guys did. You guys did it really well. And I think that it ignited something, in her to see that, hey, this is something that's real, and I think it benefited those girls to see that too, Some churches don't talk about missions like this a lot, and some churches do overly, but I think having you guys up there saying, hey, this is what we've done, and you guys can do this too, it's not like an exclusive thing, we're all called to go and do, right? And so at some point or somewhere, somehow. Well,
and one lady told us, her church had always talked about missions as like, you're moving over there. You are, they had never talked short-term missions.
Yeah.
And so she said, after hearing us, she's like, I want y'all to come talk to my church. I want y'all to show my church you can go for 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, but you're still making a difference. You're not, you're not packing up and leaving everything here and being gone for 3 years or whatever, but you're still showing people Jesus. And so that was cool to know that, because we were calling ourselves not real missionaries, because, last year we had people from China that they were real. They lived there for, I can't remember, like 10 years or something. And then you bring us in and we're like, we've been there for 17 days total.
Yeah. But that's still missionaries.
But it just showed people that they can do it, even with a bunch of kids, even with a husband that we're leaving at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can handle it. I think we're okay.
Y'all are rock stars. Ben and Josh, MVP. But I think it just showed people that even the girls, like, you don't have to go into missions and move. You can go into missions and go do 2 weeks, go do a month, whatever you can do. It's cool.
Yeah, and missions are sometimes scary. You know, like it's one of those things that people don't think that they can go and do because they're like, you know, like what if somebody asks me a question, you know? And most of the time, like in South Asia, you're just trying to make sure people understand that what you're saying, like English.
Yeah.
Having a translator, making sure that you know, so there's
smiling.
It's a slower thing, but I think missions, a lot like any kind of ministry, requires faithfulness. And so just keep going, keep pursuing what you're called to do, and God is going to work in that. You know, and that may be in short-term missions, or you know, through a short-term mission, you may feel called to go and go. Therefore,
I've already been told I can't move anywhere. So. Came home with my missions fire, I think, even brighter. Yeah. And my husband was like, "We're not moving." So, okay, there.
Yeah, that's a conflict that a lot of people I think have with that kind of calling. You know, I think that's a real thing for sure.
Well, and the theme was live out loud, which is let your light shine before men, so they may see your good deeds and glorify our Father in heaven. And I was like, but Ben, look, live out loud, missions. He was like, yeah, you can go on missions. Yeah, we're not moving.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like you said, there are other ways to do missions. You don't have to go and move. You know, Allison feels really called to missions, and we're trying to flesh that out still. You know, like, and I think I've talked about that on the podcast before, but we're trying to flesh that out and figure out what that means. You know, maybe she's supposed to lead groups of short-term missions. Maybe that's what she feels called to do. You know,
which should be amazing at.
She would be. Like, it's like she's really good at that. She's blessed and highly favored in that area. Like, she loves buying people's plane tickets. She loves planning itineraries. She loves organizing little things, you know, like, and you and her working together to do that for the girls' camp. I think that she's really good at those things.
She's very good at those things.
You know, and I think that, you know, we can work on that more, you know, and find more opportunities for you and her and our church to serve in opportunities like that. I think that's a good thing. So who were the sponsors at Girls Camp, and how are they? Did they have any fun stories or anything like that?
We had crazy stories. We had Allison, myself, Amanda, Carla, my mom, Kim, and then Lori. And it was funny because we had so many older girls that they would take our younger girls and like walk them back to the cabin after a meal. And we would sit there and finish our tea or whatever we were drinking. And we would laugh because all the other people were like lining their kids up and making sure they were in like order. And we're like, oh, our kids went back to the cabin together. They're fine.
Yeah.
And we would sit there and tell stories, and we laughed. And a lot of the kids, one of the people that worked there, staff members, was a big hugger. Well, we had a bunch of non-huggers with us. My mom and Lori hug. The rest of us were like, no. So she'd come up to our table and be like, I want a hug. Who wants hugs? And Mom and Lori would hug her. And the rest of us would be like, nah, don't. We're not going there. Don't hug us. So that was one of our biggest jokes. Is we're like, yeah, we just don't hug anyone. But it was funny. Yeah. And then we did the silent disco, which was hilarious. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
So for our listeners who don't know what silent disco is, can you describe it?
So you put on headphones, and there's two channels, or there were two channels, and we had put in a bunch of requests for songs. And so you would switch back and forth between the two channels.
And your headphones change color.
Yes, so like blue or red is what these were. And you'd look around, and everybody would be red except for like two people. And then a second later, everyone would change to blue. Or you would look at I'd look at Allison and be like, change, because it was Taylor Swift on the other one, and I knew we needed to sing that. And the videos, though, are hilarious because we're all singing out loud, but we can't hear ourselves. And so that's amazing because we are getting it with our singing. But
that's fun.
Can't hear ourselves.
We did that at D-Now the other day, a couple months ago, and it was a good time. The girls were all listening to the Cupid Shuffle, and then the boys were listening to Adele. And they were all dancing to Adele, and the girls were doing the Cupid Shuffle. And I was like,
it's backwards.
I was like, this is incredible.
I want to buy some, though.
Yeah, I think I don't know. They're not too bad.
No, we already looked it up. I'm prepped and ready to buy those suckers.
So we can just out. So we could rent them out too. We can make.
Yeah, we can make our money back.
I think we paid $500 to rent those from.
Really?
Now, yeah.
There, it's only $2,500 to buy them.
Hey, we could.
Ooh, I like this.
That's 4 times.
Liking this
we
even
use
better.
Them 5 times.
I'll use them all the time. Maybe for myself.
Okay, Emerson, you're in here. Do you want to give us a quick? Do you want to say anything about girls' camp that you liked? Come over here and say it in the microphone. Watch your step. What was something that you liked at girls' camp?
I liked how, like, the big girls and the little girls would just, like, make something up to play.
Oh, yeah.
And the big girls, what did they do for y'all before you went to the disco?
They would give us makeovers.
Yeah. The big girls were really good at the little girls. They did their hair and makeup, and they were very encouraging to the little girls.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the verse or the theme for camp? Do you remember it? It's okay. It's been a while if you don't remember it.
Without loud?
Yeah. Do you remember the verse? It's right under there, written right under there. Just if you can't remember it.
Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 7:16. 5:16.
Yeah. Do you remember? Do you know what it means to let your light shine?
Yes.
What's the light that we have that shines?
So the light that we shine is showing people Jesus and God.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Good job, girl. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, Daddy.
Okay. So we can carry on a little bit more. I just wanted to ask Emerson. So what were some funny things that happened at camp? Do you have anything like a funny story that happened? I know you kind of gave some highlights.
There were a zillion frogs.
Frogs.
Because it kept raining.
Nice.
And so we had kids picking up frogs, and yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
The water slides, they had giant blow up water slides, and our kids are what's the word? Not social. So they would be having like these big get-togethers with the whole camp, and our girls were like, "Can we go to the water slides?" So it'd be ropes on the water slides. Mm-hmm. Everyone else over here, bonding,
being campers,
making
happy
friends,
campers.
And we were happy with each other only. Could not mix. There was no mixing that went on. Yeah,
sometimes it's hard to do that, and some like small camps like that, it's very obvious, but like a big camp, like we went to, we're just with us the whole time,
right? It was just funny because you would have we would walk past people to get to the water slides, and their counselors would be like, "Wait," their kids would be like, "We want to go to the water slides." They're like, "No, we're over here doing whatever this is.
This is where we are.
This is where we're supposed to be." And Ropes is like, we're going to the water slides. So
this is where we're supposed to be.
This is where we're going to be.
We are going to be where we want to be.
We're very social. That's one another.
That's good. That's great.
So we socialized a lot with each other.
Building relationships within your community. Yes. That's okay.
It was good. I didn't make any relationships with anybody else. But it was good. I'm trying to think what else happened. We had 2 sides to our cabin. So younger girls were on one side, older girls on the other. We didn't have bathroom doors.
Ooh.
But we had shower doors and potty doors, but no bathroom doors. So when you stepped out of the shower, you had to either go get dressed with the potty or like hide in the shower. So I took showers at night in the dark with a flashlight once everybody was asleep. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of something like really funny that happened. They were supposed to do a talent show, but the night before, all our girls were like, we're not doing this. So we backed out of the talent show.
And there's one other thing. Once we got in the middle of silent disco, we saw a tarantula. Everybody started throwing rocks at it.
You guys saw a tarantula during silent disco and people started throwing rocks at it?
Well, everybody went outside and started throwing rocks at it.
I can imagine the stampede that a tarantula would cause at girls' camp.
Yep. It happened. It did.
Carla?
Yeah, Wally started I tried to get them to stop. Wally started to trying to get them to stop too.
Oh yeah, okay. You
Throwing
tried
rocks.
to stop throwing rocks. Carla, she stepped in and she's like, "We're not doing this."
Well, and we laughed a lot because our sponsors were sitting at one little rotation or whatever, and someone walked up and said, "Well, most sponsors are doing this." So for the rest of camp, we would say, "Well, most sponsors, anytime someone wasn't doing what we thought they should be doing to each other or whoever, we said it to everyone." So that was entertaining.
That's good.
At least the 6 of us.
I'm glad you guys had your little pod.
Yeah.
That you guys had.
The ropes cabin.
So what else is going on in the kids' ministries? I know that we had kind of a boys' camp update thing or something.
Well, yes, we found out that boys' camp is not the dates that we have had since forever.
Yeah.
Apparently, they sent out something saying they changed in January. We did not receive it.
Okay.
Because it would have come to the church. We did not receive it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I found out 2 days ago that boys' camp is actually a week later.
Wow.
Which took out 8 of our kids and a sponsor.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I know we would have sent a whole van.
Yeah.
Plus a truck full of stuff on the 16th. Had this mom not seen it?
Yeah. You guys would have all just been rolling up home.
Here's ropes. Hey.
I mean, they probably would have been like, all right, let's just stay.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been any different.
Yeah,
them hanging out with each other.
Yeah. Just hang out there.
Done the same thing the girls did.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that was crazy.
But we're thankful for the ones that could
yes.
move and change and make it work.
Yes. And then other than that, we're kind of done for the summer until our back to school night, whatever we do.
Yeah.
Back to the S word. My kids won't say school at home. They say it's a bad word. So back to S word.
Wow. Hey, I don't know if that's...
I don't know.
I don't know if that's any better.
They hate it.
Back to S word.
Back to S word. Yeah, I know.
Awesome.
So you got youth camp coming up?
Yes. So today is Thursday. We leave Saturday.
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. I mean, everything. I've gotten all the emails sent. I've said this is what we need. This is what we got. I've heard back from the camp. The camp's got us all in a good dorm.
Good.
So,
y'all are like in hotel type rooms.
Yeah, it's gonna be their hotel style.
Okay.
Kind of. It's like basically maybe a motel style.
Okay. Like you walk outside.
Yeah, you walk outside. Yeah. And there's a bunch of 2-story buildings that we probably have 2 of them. I don't know. So we're taking 55 people total, which is the biggest group that we've taken.
That's a lot.
Ever. We took 40 last year, and I was like, this is wild.
How many adults do you have? Is that with the adults?
Yeah, it's with the adults. So we have 8 adults.
Wow, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah. But it'll be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not really there's maybe 1 or 2 kids that I have never met before. And so I have a relationship with most of these kids.
Right.
So that'll be a good thing. Like I know them.
Mm-hmm.
I know what they look like. I know their name.
Can't lose them?
Yeah, I can't lose them. Like there's been some in the past that I'm like, I've never met you before, but come on, which is fine. And I meet them
good.
And we're good, But this year it'll be a good time, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not stressed about it, and so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I may be stressed about it Saturday morning getting here. There's just a lot of things that I had to handle ahead of time, like we're taking a charter bus, and so I had to.
Which is so cool, in my opinion.
It is a cool thing. It's like it's the next level that we get to do.
Fancy church.
Yeah,
that's what you used to always think.
It's just we're just doing it out of necessity, which is a great problem to have, that we had to rent this to get there. So I had to plan all the itinerary 2 weeks ago, so that's already done.
Smooth sailing.
Yeah, everything.
Good.
The itinerary's done. I've sent it to everybody. Everybody knows where they got to be. The only thing is, if you are a youth kid parent listening to this, you cannot be late because we will leave you here. You can't be late because we got to leave it right at 9:00. So don't be late. We did have one late last year. We had to wait on him, but it's okay. We won't hold it too far against him.
Just don't be late this year. That person.
Yeah, that person. Don't be late again.
I'll be on time.
Well, which the funny thing is it was one of the seniors last year, and so he hadn't even woken up yet, He's like, "Oh, I haven't packed yet either."
No.
So they were like calling him, woke him up, and so it's fine.
He hadn't packed.
He's like, I got to get my stuff ready. I'll be there.
Oh my goodness. My kid's packed.
I'm not packed, but that's kind of how it goes in the Crabb family.
Yeah, your family is way too relaxed on that packing thing.
Yeah.
Allison's like, yeah, I'm packed. I'll pack tonight. And I'm like, we leave at 8.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'll pack tonight. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't packed. I kind of know what I'm going to take. Everything's kind of ready. I just haven't put it in a bag.
Yeah, someone asked me why I'm not going to youth camp. I said, I'm children's minister, not youth.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my children.
Well, unless if I have a volunteer back out in the next couple of days, I'll let you know, and you can come with us.
Yeah.
If you want to.
No.
You don't want to go?
I know.
Okay. It's
I bet it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. These are. It's a big camp. I was telling Ben, and I don't think he was prepared for that. I was like, "There's 1,500 kids at this camp. You know, it's a big experience, and I think our kids really enjoy the big experience because they're used to the little experience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not little, but like they don't get a lot of big production. Like
right.
Some big churches, it's big production all the time. This camp is big production, big fun things.
So sorry to interrupt you, but you do rec camp. Will you explain that too?
Yeah, rec camp is like.
I know what rec is, but
there's just different options that you can do at Student Life. You can do a missions camp or a rec camp, but they don't do missions camp at Glorieta.
Okay.
Missions camp is you spend the day instead of like you'll have an afternoon. You spend your afternoon going and doing missions projects in like a surrounding community. But rec camp is you'll just do rec activities, and so they'll have teams like Shock, which is yellow, and then Surge, which is blue. You know, and so they'll compete against each other all week long.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Shock o'clock is the catchphrase for Shock or whatever, and it's really hyped up. You know, the kids get really into it and really competitive. And
I just had to buy 12 yellow bandanas.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bandanas are great.
So I'm sending 12 yellow bandanas, 7th graders.
Also, parents, if you're listening to this and you're still packing for your kid, be ready for that stuff to come back just disgusting. Because there is a water day. It's not water day. It's mud day.
Yeah.
There's just mud. It's mud everywhere. So just be ready for that. And there's a lake, and they just get in it sometimes.
Okay. Especially if they're boys.
And the boys caught crawdads last year. They kept them in their sink. I didn't know about that until the almost last day. And so I told them, hey, we can't. But that was one of my fun things I get to do at camp is tell them they have to release their crawdads. They must be released.
I didn't have to deal with that at girls' camp. I'm just saying.
Well, frogs. You guys had frogs, but
nobody brought them in.
They didn't want to keep them. But it's different with it's
a mess.
It's a fun time, and it's a good camp. I can look up what they're talking about.
The actual camp looks so cool.
Yeah.
I've never been to a camp like that.
It's just a big camp. If you've ever been to Glorieta, people who are listening, you know what it's like, but they've made a lot of upgrades in the last couple of years to sorry, I'm trying to find my email, to just enhance the experience and also just enhance the flow of everything. Mm-hmm. So they'll probably have 2 or 3 camps going on at Glorieta.
Wow.
Because they have enough space. It's a massive facility. Mm-hmm. So they have enough space to run. They do it's called Fuge Camp. There's Fuge that runs and there's Student Life that runs, and they kind of split between the two of those. And then they do family camp all summer. So there's little families running around. But every camp has their own spot within the campground. So they don't mix or intermingle.
Wow.
But they have, so it's a pretty big facility that does all this. And
maybe I'll volunteer next year.
And the high temperatures are 80 and the low temperatures are 50. And so it's
goodness, that sounds amazing.
It's one of the highlights of the year for sure for me, to get to go and just be in the mountains for a little bit. So the camp theme is in his name. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are protected. Proverbs 18:10. So day one, they focus on a different kind of thing every day, and there'll be 2 teachings, one in the morning, and then they'll do small groups, and then one at night. That's worship and teaching with altar calls, and then after that, we kind of split into a church group. Our whole group will meet and kind of process what we've gone through the first day. So the first day is our Creator. God is our wonderful Creator. Day 2 is our righteousness. God is our righteousness. Day 3 is our shepherd. Jesus is our shepherd, and our comforter. The Holy Spirit is our comforter. So it kind of addresses the whole Trinity, God, all the ways that God pursues us and creates us and sets us on our way. All those good things.
That's cool.
And so we have, this podcast is going longer than I thought.
I know, that'd be like 10 minutes. We're still talking.
Sorry for those who are listening 30 minutes in. And we have, our leaders. We have Donnie and Danny Halpane with Amanda Halpane. And then Allie Wilson, Ava Grace Falls, and Lacey Turpin, and Josh Sexton. And so they'll kind of be divided up in handling, high school boys, junior high boys, high school girls, junior high girls, and they'll go through the small group things with them. And I let the life group leaders, I let them handle the life groups, and they do a really good job in building relationships with the kids. And, and it takes a little bit of time to kind of get the barriers down the first couple of days. But usually by day 3 or 4, the kids are ready to get, spiritual, I guess is the right word. I don't really know the right word to say, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time not for boys, it does. For girls, it's like, we're in it. We're in it. We're crying 20 minutes in, which is great.
And the boys are thinking about catching crawdads and putting them in their seat.
Yeah, and junior high boys, sometimes it's like by the end of the week, maybe they're kind of aware of what's happening.
Planting seeds. We're planting seeds. We're planting seeds.
Yeah, which is good, and I think it'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be exhausting. I'll get a lot of steps in, but
it sounds fun. My kid's excited, so
yeah, I'm excited that Billy can come. Sorry, last year we had to move camp the week before, and of course it was where Billy couldn't go. So
he's pumped. So
all right, you got anything else for?
I don't think so. We got to figure out what we're doing for back to school.
Back to school,
but we haven't figured that out yet. So
yeah, I think, and then we're going to be in the sanctuary in 2 weeks. Yep,
13th
next Sunday. Not this Sunday that this podcast comes out, but the next Sunday we'll be in the sanctuary. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of coming along, being finished up. Me and a friend, we wired all of the stage, all the sound stuff for the stage yesterday or the day before yesterday.
I know there's men putting together chairs next week.
And yes, there are men putting together 325 chairs.
Oh my goodness gracious!
At some point, I'm not in that group because I'm going to be gone.
Too bad.
If you are one of those men, thank you so much for doing that. And attention to detail is not something that I'm great at.
I didn't get asked because I'd have them crooked.
Yeah, me and Donovan put together one, and it was crooked. And so it was
just a little lower than the other one.
It was apparent that we needed to do this differently.
Yeah.
But as far as anything else, that's kind of our summer's update. And sorry it was so long, but we got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got anything else?
That's it.
I don't really have a family challenge. Emerson, you got something? Do you want to say something? Because you're acting like you want to say something.
Never mind.
Okay, never mind from Emerson. All right. Do you have a family challenge? I don't have one.
I say family challenge, just get involved.
Yeah.
In our church in the coming weeks, months, whatever. If you're not going to camp, that's fine. But we have church on Sunday mornings, we have Bible class, and then we'll start back with Wednesdays in August.
Yeah.
So come be a part of us.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we would love to have you, and there's a place for everybody. Our church is very family centered.
It is.
So we don't care if your kids are crazy. If you've met any of the crab kids, you can tell that we're used to crazy kids.
Combine the hill crab kids there, and you got some feralness going on.
Yeah. So we're not scared. We're not afraid of your children. So bring them. Come on, it'll be a good time, and just kind of keep on the lookout because we may sprinkle some stuff in June or July and the beginning of August.
True.
To kind of bring the new school year in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all we got this week. This summer, really. I think we'll start podcasts back up when school starts.
Okay.
I think we'll kind of get back to our weekly flow with topics. If you have a topic, just send it to us. Message us on Facebook, just the church's page or the kids page or the youth page. Somebody, we'll all get it. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, send it to us. Or if you have a question or something like that, just let us know. We'll talk at y'all later. Peace.